Incidentally, we come out of a congressman for Lee Terry for Congress commercial with the guy who he's running against, of course, the incumbent versus the challenger, State Senator Tom White. Thanks for coming back.
Oh, thanks for having me.
All right, your opposition and yourself are now running television commercials. After Labor Day is typically when things kick into high gear. Is this a little earlier than you anticipated having to launch the television side of this campaign?
Well, I think we needed to have a real conversation. There's some real big differences between Congressman Terry and myself, and it takes time for the public to catch the ads, understand who I am, my family, work, long history here, history of working across nonpartisan in the legislature. We don't, Republican Democrats don't matter, it's the ideas, versus a longtime congressman, longtime Washington insider like Congressman Terry. It's not an easy message to get across, and it takes a little bit of time.
You say there's a contrast between the two of you. Rob wants to know about that, and so do I, because I see your profile. You are pro-life.
Yes.
All right. You are for less government.
I have been, yes.
Yeah. Okay.
As a civil rights attorney, I've seen government beat up individuals over and over again.
All right.
There's government that's necessary. It has to do certain things, but government can also be abused. So it's kind of like a knife. You treat it with respect. They're necessary. You need them, but you have to treat them with respect.
There are a lot of issues you guys do fall on the same line of the fence on, same side of the fence. When we talked to you last time you were here, you said the Bush tax cuts would probably not be repealed if you had your choice right now. Maybe some point down the line. And Congressman Terry said the same thing. He said he's a bit of a deficit hawk, and you say there's just too much as far as the deficit's concerned right now. Spell out to Rob and me the stark contrasts.
Okay, well, here's one. Deficit hawk. Congressman Terry's voted to double the national debt. He has spent 12 years in Washington spending like wildfire.
Right.
I spent 4 years in the legislature. We balanced the budget. We did the biggest tax cut in the history of the state. We got rid of the estate inheritance tax. We got rid of the marriage penalty tax. We got a credit for homeowners and, unfortunately, also big out-of-state landowners like Ted Turner on their property tax. Biggest tax cut in state history, balanced the budget. Huge difference.
In order to do that in Washington, if things stood the way they are right now, with the Democrats controlling the House, you would have to cross party lines an awful lot. Is that something you're prepared to do?
Absolutely. The point isn't the party.
Yeah.
The point is the idea. The point isn't the person, it's the idea. We can't afford what we're dealing with in Washington now. The American public has seen it. Washington doesn't work. Lincoln does work.
Yeah.
Lincoln works. We balance the budget through the worst economy since the Depression, and we get along in a civil manner. Washington doesn't work because it's all about who's the person, not the idea.
It seems like it's about the party more than it is the ideas. It seems like the party comes before the people far too often, and I got to cut it off there because we're out of time, and I'm going to, of course, have you back a couple more times before the election. Yes or no, are you going to have some televised debates with Congressman Terry?
Every chance we get.
Okay. Thanks so much. Appreciate you having you. And we'll, of course, as I mentioned, have you back again. Still to come, a final check.